All right, today we're diving deep into one of the wildest metahuman upgrades out there, the Sanguin Infusion. Yeah, this is the protocol that takes the already spooky Vadus Knox and dials him up to something, well, something truly terrifying.
I mean, it really makes you wonder, right? How do you even upgrade an omen of doom? This guy is already psychically wired into disaster, a living, breathing symbol of chaos. Where do you go from there? Well, the answer? It's a mix of the sacred and the seriously strange. So, let's get into it. At the very core of this whole thing is a super covert, pretty unethical super soldier program. And look, we're not just talking about making someone stronger here. Oh no. This is about creating a whole new class of weapon. So what is the Sanguin Infusion exactly? Well, think of it like this. It's an experimental protocol that takes two things that should not go together. We're talking pure, divine energy from a holy relic and the unique, mutated biology of a metahuman and mashes them together. The end goal? Simple. Create a walking, talking, post-human weapon. But here's what's so wild about it. The recipe for this thing is incredibly specific. You can't just grab any old power source and inject it into any metahuman. Nope. It needs two very particular, very powerful components just to have a shot at working. And here they are, the two halves of this crazy equation. First, you've got the conduit. This is literally the preserved blood of Saint Januarius. I'm talking a divine relic, just packed with immense sacred power. Then you need the catalyst, and that's Vadus Knox. His mutated biology is the perfect engine, already fine-tuned for sensing doom and moving in those creepy, efficient ways he does. Okay, so the first thing you notice, the physical boost is just massive. You can basically think of the Saint's blood as a kind of divine super soldier serum. Knox's strength gets cranked up to 11. He can punch clean through reinforced concrete, lift small cars, basically stand his ground against other heavy-hitting metahumans. And it's not just about raw strength. His natural weapons, those talons and that beak that are part of his whole Mothman deal, they get a serious upgrade too. The divine energy hones them, making them preternaturally sharp and practically indestructible. We're talking about tearing through steel plating like it's tissue paper. Here's the real kicker, though. Let's say you actually manage to land a hit and hurt him. The fight is nowhere near over. That infused blood, that holy magic now pumping through his veins, it's a ridiculously powerful healing factor. It prevents fatal wounds, stitches him back together in moments, which makes him incredibly, incredibly hard to put down for good. But the infusion goes way beyond just making him stronger and tougher. His existing abilities, they don't just get a simple power-up. No, they evolve. They become something deeper, and honestly, a lot more terrifying. Let's take his infrasound ability, for instance. It's not just one thing anymore, it escalates. At level 1, it's a passive aura. Just being in his vicinity saps your will, drains your hope. It's awful. But then he can dial it up. At level 2, he actively projects it, and it's not just dread anymore. It becomes this active judgment, a wave of energy that hits you with the full weight of your own sins, paralyzing you. And then there's the last resort, the liquefaction effect. And this is where things get biblical. This is the ultimate expression of that holy power. When Knox is pushed to his absolute limit, the Saint's blood in his veins does the one thing the relic is famous for. It liquefies. And when that happens, it unleashes this catastrophic concussive wave of energy, enough to flatten an entire city block. Just gone. On top of all that, the infusion completely rewires his most defining ability, his disaster intuition. He's no longer just an omen, a creature drawn to bad things. He becomes a full-blown oracle, a prophet of doom. So what does that mean? Well, his vague feelings sharpen into crystal-clear precognition. He doesn't just think a bridge is going to collapse, he knows it, he sees it. Plus, the holy blood gives him a new trick. He can now sense supernatural corruption. Dark magic, demonic activity, he's like a bloodhound for the city's darkest secrets, which is terrifying. But there's a heavy price for this clarity, and this quote really hits it home. This isn't like watching the future on a screen for him. No, he is forced to experience it. He sees the faces of people who are about to die. He feels the weight of their final moments. And all this does is crank his built-in nihilism up to a whole new level. So you take all of this, the strength, the regeneration, the divine judgment, the precognition, and what do you get? You don't get a hero. You don't even really get a straightforward villain. What you get is a divine paradox, a walking, flying contradiction that's completely at war with itself. And this is the absolute core of the character now. On one side, he's a divine super soldier. He has the sacred power to save lives, to fight evil. He's a vessel of miraculous energy. But on the other side, he's still Vadus Knox, a nihilist who truly believes the city is corrupt beyond saving, that everyone is doomed. It's a heck of a conflict. What good is holy power in the hands of someone who has zero faith? You can see this conflict in everything he is. He's a living embodiment of it. He is quite literally a divine punishment wrapped in the wings of a monster. He's the terrifying thing in the shadows, but he's also the holy judgment that's coming for a world that has completely lost its way. And that leaves us with the final, nagging question about Vadus Knox. When you fuse all this holy power to a worldview that is just unshakably bleak, what is he? Is he just a punishment sent to sit back and watch the city finally crumble? Or is he a prophecy? A sign of a much bigger, final judgment that's still on its way? That, I think, is the real question at the heart of this monster.